Well, I hope you guys can hear me. For the past several days, it's been very windy. Today, we have 25-mile-an-hour winds with wind gusts to up to I don't know how high. Yesterday, I did kind of a review of the backyard. Today, I want to do a review of the front yard, which is not nearly so happy, but I want to give you kind of an evolution of what's going to be going on. If you can see up and down the street, we are still waiting for the city to come and take away these piles of debris. And I might also say that it's pretty dangerous when you're backing out. It's becoming a little bit of a traffic hazard because it's hard to see when you're backing out of your driveway. I already had a huge wall of mine taken away. This additional debris came down during a windstorm we had the other night that also took our power out for the second time. And I am still waiting on the tree pruners to come and at least start out by giving me an estimate on having my trees pruned. So you can see there's some dangling stuff, some pretty, Stuart, if you can show my sad, sad oak tree up towards the sky that's still got lots of major branches that need to come down. Now those are wedged in there pretty tightly or I wouldn't be standing here under the canopy. But I want to show you some things that are still going to be done in my efforts to really transform it so that it'll be beautiful next spring. So Stuart and I just shot a video on planting hundreds and hundreds of tulip bulbs rather, and I've got a lot more to plant. Now this is a mess, you guys. I'm well aware of that, but I want to show it to you in its messy state so you can kind of see the plan that I hope to execute over the next several days to get it looking good again. Okay, I have added more flagstone. You can see in the past I've had some flagstone that was set into the contours of the garden beds. You can see it around some of Stuart's cords and things. You'll notice also that I've got some that are just lying here. That's because I am going to put these subsurface so that they are flush with the level of the soil and to kind of fill in some gaps of things that I've lost, some boxwoods and other things. I'm going to add more flagstone so that I have kind of a wider path going through the garden. Then you can see a little bit more of it here. This isn't necessarily where these pieces are going to go, but in some of the barren areas, I am adding more flagstone. That'll give me more surface area, places to walk, and points of reference for ground cover and things to grow around them. It really helps to have good friends in high places, and when Southern Living heard about all the devastation here, they're going to send me a bunch of new plants, some camellias, some encore azaleas from Encore Azalea that I can fill in this area here with some of my devastated azaleas. And I'm going to be doing that over the next few days. I told you that I was going to keep this huge log here as kind of a focal point and a reference point to do some vignettes around. I'll be planting some azaleas on the other side of that. So hopefully this weekend I'm going to get all of my tulips in, all of my violas in, all of my large order of plants that will be put into the ground to replace some of the destroyed plants. Some other things, not really garden related. Oh, before I point that out to you, I do have a gorgeous little gem magnolia that's not so little, it was already mature. And this is a garden cheat I want to show you. It looks beautiful from here. It will look beautiful from the street. Now this was actually taken, my friend John, a landscaper friend of mine, he had to replace this at a client's job because when you see the back side, you'll see what I mean. I'm showing you all of my uglies, all of my warts on my nose. It was stripped sheared on this side from the ice storm. But I don't care because I don't see this. This place will be pretty much kind of camouflaged. I will only get the pretty facade in the front, and what makes me happy is then I was able to procure a plant that was of a size that fit the maturity of my own landscape. So at least I have this corner covered in the garden. These are the little things you sometimes don't think about. But Stuart, if you'll point up to my roof line, I still have some tree limbs that are up there I'm waiting to be removed. There was on my front door a big branch that came down and destroyed the paint on my storm door. I've got guttering up there that has to be replaced. So all of that will be happening in the coming weeks. And then I'll be able to do some more fun things. I also lost another, in the corner there, Stuart, if you could show them. In the corner, I lost a huge boxwood I had there that was crushed, and I'm gonna put an Oakland holly in there, I think, to fill that corner. So yesterday's tour wasn't quite so bleak because it wasn't hit so hard. It's gonna take time and lots of effort to get this whipped back into shape. It's a little bit challenging, I'm not gonna lie, because now we've got all of these major winds that have come through. The bad news is there's more wind, drying winds. The good news is I think it's finally gonna blow in some rain this weekend. So that will be good. If I can get a lot of this stuff in the ground in the next few days, then that moisture will be wonderful. Now, you may ask, am I gonna do all of this myself? No, I'm not. I know my own limitations, so I'm gonna get some help this weekend with some people that are going to come in and help me plant all of these tulips and violas and these other shrubs, because I just really can't do it all myself. So anyhow, I wanted to give you an update on the front yard. It looks miserable, you guys, but I promise you, it's one thing about having optimism and vision. I promise you that another terrible storm notwithstanding, it will be spectacular next spring, but in a completely different way. So if you guys will just follow along on this journey with me via YouTube, you will see how it's transformed over time. Appreciate it. And again, I've said it 1,000 times, you guys have been so supportive. Thank you. Have a great weekend.